Hi everyone, this is Rebekah from Teshuvah Ministries, and this morning I thought that I would continue my series that I had started a couple years ago, where I was just reading the scriptures to you, and I was testing video or testing audio and all that stuff from my storage unit. So I was doing it over there, but right now I'm here in my new office. Obviously it hasn't been set up, but I thought before I would like to continue reading where Yeshua was during the acceptable year of the Lord. Where was he during feast time? So right now we are entering into Purim. Yeah, so I just checked, and yes, I actually stopped right during Hanukkah. I didn't read to you where Yeshua was between Hanukkah and Purim. Since we're coming up on Purim right now, I thought I would this morning just read where Yeshua was between Hanukkah and Purim. And so I am reading from the Chronological Gospels that you can get at Rude Awakening TV. This is Michael Rood's compilation of 30 plus years of work, finding out where Yeshua was at what point in time for that 1 year. I love it. It's chronological. So go get this. You definitely need this. I have the big version here. There's different versions now. You can get a hardback. I think you can get hardback. Yeah, you can get the soft back. That's the smaller one. But I'm going to find where I left off and just read a little bit this morning to you from my new office. And I have with me Buddy and Kecha. So Kayrah. It's a Hebrew word for provision, and buddy. All right, so let me find this. It's been a little bit since I've been in here, so this is good for me. I just thought I would invite you to do this with me. So yeah, you remember we read all about his birth. I love it because you can actually see up in here the event number and the feast day. So it's pretty easy to find that. The other thing, what is kind of tough, is to find an exact verse because it's all chronological. So if you want to find like Matthew 5:15 or something, you have to look down here at what's highlighted. So it will be in bold if it's in that area. So it goes more like by event than verse. I like that though, because it's more of a story. Yeah, I actually had a marker. I had a marker in here so that I would know. All right, so during the Feast of Hanukkah. Okay, I think we ended up with he was at the home of Lazarus, Miriam, Martha, and Bethany during Hanukkah. Okay, so I think we'll start here. And if I'm overlapping, oh well, right? Okay, so we're going to start. This is event 140. Yeshua leaves to minister in the land beyond the Arden, as in the Jordan, after the Feast of Hanukkah. Third day of the 10th month, 4027 from creation, Sunday, December 27 CE. So this is week 45 in his 70-week ministry. And this is after the Feast of Hanukkah. So we're looking right now at where he was from Hanukkah to Purim. Where was he between those two festivals? John 10:40 to 42 says, Yeshua traveled beyond the Arden, or the Jordan, into the place where Yohanan first immersed, and there he abode for the winter. He was a snowbird. I don't blame him. If he was sleeping outside, he'd have to be. Many came to him and said, though Yohanan did no miracles, everything that Yohanan spoke about this man is true. So many believed in him there. So John the Baptist, or Yohanan ben Zechariah, didn't do any miracles. I guess I didn't realize that. I thought he had done a few, but no, he didn't. Interesting. Okay, event 141. Yeshua teaches in the Dead Valley during the winter, beginning the third day of the 10th month. So this is the same day. that this is recorded. Luke 11:1-36 says, "One time, after Yeshua had finished praying, one of his disciples said to him, 'Master, teach us to pray like Yohanan also taught his disciples to pray.' Yeshua said to them, 'Pray like this.'" Oh, good. I love this. Yeshua said to them, "Pray like this. Our Father in heaven, holy is your name, YHVH, Yehovah. May your kingdom come and your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us day by day our daily bread. Forgive us our sins as we also forgive everyone that is indebted to us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil." Now, I know he says this, he repeats this later on or earlier on. Now I don't even remember where I am. But he repeats this prayer. And I don't know if you have looked this up, but go get the book, then the Prayer to Our Father, I think it is, by Nehemiah Gordon and Keith Johnson. It is amazing. It will unpack this prayer for you that Yeshua was teaching his disciples to pray, teaching us to pray. It's a structure by which we pray, and it's in this manner, pray. So when I look at this, I've learned it in Hebrew, and I also have looked at it as a template. So I take that first part, our Father who is in heaven, Papa, I love you so much, you live, and then, you take each section there and then you pray like that. And that's kind of the formula, the template. I really like that. Holy is your name, sanctified be your name. And why is that in your prayer? Why are you sanctifying the name? How are you sanctifying it? I just like that. So anyway, that was a little whatever. I'll get back to reading. Okay, so so there's a commentary here that Michael Rood he's making a commentary on Luke 11:4-1, which said, at the end of the prayer. So Michael Rood is saying, Yeshua taught first this pattern or outline for prayer to the few disciples who climbed the mountain to hear him teach his first recorded message to Israel in Event 62. Few disciples follow the pattern today. They just mindlessly repeat the words like it is some kind of magical mantra. Some congregations completely ignore Yeshua's teachings altogether and follow the patterns instituted by the rabbis. So here you have a prayer that Yeshua said, this is how you're supposed to pray. But the rabbis have instituted all these chantings and all this other garbage, and it has nothing to do with what Yeshua said. So he's just making a point that we need to pay attention to Yeshua and not the so-called rabbis. Okay? All right. Let's go on. Luke 11:5 says, Yeshua said, "Which of you would go to your friend at midnight and say to him, 'Friend, lend me 3 loaves. A friend of mine has come to me in his journey, and I have nothing to set before him. And from within he shall answer, Trouble me not, the door is shut, and my children are with me in bed. I cannot rise and give you.' I say to you, though he will not rise and give to him because he is his friend, yet because of his constant asking, he will rise and give to him as much as he needs. So I say to you, keep asking, and it shall be given to you. Keep seeking, and you shall find. Keep knocking, and it will be opened to you. For everyone that asks receives, and he that seeks finds, and to him that knocks it shall be opened. If a son shall ask bread of any of you that is a father, will he give him a stone that looks like a loaf of bread? If he asks for a fish, will he give him a serpent instead of a fish? Or if he asks for an egg, will he give him a scorpion? If you then, being burdened with hardships, give splendid gifts to your children, how much more shall your heavenly Father give the Ruach HaKodesh to those who ask him?" Oh, okay. I have got to stop on this one because this is amazing. So much of the time we think, well, I've asked, not gotten, and gotten. Well, what are you asking for? He tells us right here what we are promised to get if we ask for it. And he says we have to ask for it a lot. Okay? He says, the Father, how much more will our Heavenly Father give the Ruach HaKodesh to those who seek Him? So He's not saying, ask for wealth, ask for this, ask for that, ask for everything else. He's saying you can ask for the Ruach HaKodesh and you can be sure that you're going to get it. But He also, if you notice over here, He's talking about asking for it a lot, as in being really, really constant in your asking. So, yeah, constant asking. Yet because of his constant asking, He will give him as much as he needs. Keep asking, keep seeking, keep knocking, and it will be open to you. It will be given to you. Isn't that cool? It's like it's answered right there. But how many times do we just blow right across that and we think that prayer is some sort of magical thing that's going to get us, it's going to get us healed, it's going to get us wealth, it's going to get us, movement in our life, it's going to answer all these problems, when in reality, I'm not sure that the scriptures is saying that's the case. What I see right here in this nugget, in this gem right here, is that He's saying, ask for the Ruach HaKodesh, and you'll be sure and get that. But honestly, you have to ask for her over and over and over. Be constant in your asking, be tenacious in it, if you want the Ruach HaKodesh. Now, okay, so I got to just say this, okay? So if you have the Ruach HaKodesh, you have everything, okay? So let's say you're struggling with finances, okay? If you just ask for the finances, and let's say a bunch of gold drops down into your lap, you on your own are not going to handle that very well. Being broken, immature, blah, 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 but if you have the Ruach HaKodesh in you, who is wisdom, then the Ruach HaKodesh can show you how to get prosperity, right? And like, look at King Solomon. I don't know, like, King Saul, look at that. I mean, what does he ask for? He doesn't ask for wealth. He doesn't ask for health. He doesn't ask for anything but the Ruach HaKodesh. He wants wisdom. He wants her. Because he knows that if he has her, he's got everything. She will help him. Now, he obviously went astray and didn't listen to her later and shut her out by worshiping other gods. But in the beginning, he was given wealth. He was given everything because he had her. He knew where the key was. The Ruach HaKodesh is the key to everything. It's the key to life. It's the key to salvation. It's the key to everything. So, if you want X, Y, and Z, over here you have a list of what you want from Papa, like some sort of, as if, and you pray to Papa as if some sort of magic is going to happen and you're going to boom, get that thing. I beg to differ, because I'm seeing in the scriptures from Yeshua's own mouth, our rabbi's own mouth, in this context right here, he's saying, ask for the Ruach HaKodesh. Ask, because that, having her in you, having her is going to be everything. That is going to move you into wisdom. It's going to teach you the ways of Yehovah and keep you on that narrow path so that you can get to the happily ever after. It's going to help you in the present know how to take care of your body so that you don't get the diseases of the nations. So in the end, if you have her, you can have health, you can have wealth, you can have these things, with the influence of the Ruach HaKodesh on you, who knows things that you don't know, who can guide, who can teach you and lead you. That's the key right here. And I love this part, man. He spoke this between Hanukkah and Purim. I didn't remember this. I knew he spoke this, but I didn't remember when. How cool is that? Let's keep going. And okay. Epiphany. Oh my gosh, like I'm just thinking about that right now. Okay, so Purim, listen to this. Oh my gosh, everyone, listen. Okay, so Purim is, the one part of Purim is about listening to the Ruach HaKodesh. The Haggai represents the Ruach HaKodesh, so you have the Ruach HaKodesh in you so that you know how to dress appropriately to meet the king, right? So you have to have the Ruach HaKodesh. You have to have, just like Queen Esther had to have Haggai's input in order to know how to impress the king, we need to have the Ruach HaKodesh in us in order to know how to impress the king, right? And how to walk this path. So, and how to shine for him, right? So look at this. Look at what he's talking about between Hanukkah and Purim. He's talking about how to get the Ruach HaKodesh. He's like, this is awesome because he's preparing us for the upcoming Feast of Purim. He's saying he's saying, man, Purim there's so many deep levels of Purim. One of the things you're going to need desperately, and one of the things I want you to know how to do is to dress to meet the King. So here you go. You have to ask and ask and ask and ask. Seek, 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 seek. Keep knocking. And what is it you keep ask, seek, knock for? You ask, seek, and knock for the Ruach HaKodesh, which is in the story of Purim represented by Haggai, right? Oh my, I see. That's so super cool. He's setting us up for the Feast of Purim. How cool is that? I just love this. Okay. Oh my. I hope you see what I see. Oh, whatever. Yes. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we're at Luke 11:14 now. We're continuing on. And Yeshua was casting out a dumb demon, and when the demon left him, the dumb spoke. The people wondered, but some of them said, he casts out demons through Baal, the prince of demons. Others, tempting him, asked for a sign from heaven. But he, knowing their thoughts, said to them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and a house divided against itself falls. If Hasatan also be divided against himself, how shall his kingdom stand? Because you say that I cast out demons through Baal Zevuv, I say, if I, by Baal Zevuv, cast out demons, by whom do your sons cast them out? Therefore they shall be your judges. But if I, with the finger of Yahuwah, cast out demons, no doubt the kingdom of Yahuwah has come to you. When an armed strong man keeps his palace, his goods are secure. But when one stronger than he shall come upon him and overtake him, he takes from him all his armor in which he trusted, and divides his spoils. He that is not with me is against me. He that gathers not with me scatters. When the unclean spirit has gone out of the man, it walks through the dry places, seeking rest, and finding none, it says, I will return to the house from whence it came. When it returns, it finds the house swept and garnished. Then it goes out and brings back 7 other spirits more wicked than itself, and they enter in and dwell there. And the last state of the man is worse than the first. Oh, okay. So I just got to stop there for a second. It's just, there's so much in there. Oh, heavens. So, I mean, the idea of a kingdom divided against itself cannot stand. If you are divided inside, Yeshua is saying you can't stand. If your house is divided, if your home is divided, if you're divided in whatever, it cannot stand. Look at this. He that is not with me is against me. And he that gathers not with me scatters. Wow. I mean, we have to be sure that we're with him, that we're doing what he said to do, or we're going to be scattering people. And we're not going to be doing what he wants us to do. We're not going to be gathering with him, we're going to be scattering. This is so important. So, leaders today, rabbis, teachers, preachers, and everything, if they're not teaching what Yeshua taught, if they're not in line with Yeshua, then they're doing nothing but scattering. They're not building his kingdom, they're scattering people. And you already have so many, with the scattered Israel coming back, it is so, there's so much with there that why they do not need help scattering. They do not need. Yeah. So did you understand this part? When the unclean spirit has gone out of a man, it walks through dry places seeking rest and finding none. It says, I'll return to the house from where I came. When it returns, it finds the house swept and garnished. Then it goes out, brings back 7 other spirits more wicked than itself, and enter in and dwell there. And the last day of the man is worse than the first. This is, when I've actually seen this happen. Like somebody gets clean, they get cleaned up, they come to Yehovah Elohim, they repent and they clean out, but then they are not putting in the Ruach HaKodesh has not been invited in to live there. They haven't responded appropriately to the Ruach HaKodesh, and so they're clean. Yes, they're empty basically, and then the Spirit comes back and brings in. It's worse. I mean, it's so much worse. And most of the time, it seems to be, from what I've experienced, it's like it's religion is what ends up coming and living in there. So 7 demons of religion come back. It's just awful. Okay, let's just keep on going here. Luke 11:27 says, as he spoke these things, a certain woman among the company lifted up her voice and said to him, blessed is the womb that bare you, and the breast from which you have suckled. But he chuckled, even more blessed are those who hear the word of Yehovah and keep it. I like that, he chuckled. When the people crowded together, he said, this is an evil generation. They seek a sign, and there shall be no sign given it, but the sign of Jonah the prophet. For as, and he's saying Yohanan, or Yonan, Yonah, it's Yonah. But for as Yonah, or Jonah, was a sign to the Ninevites, so shall the Son of Man be to this generation. The queen of the south shall rise up in judgment against the men of this generation and condemn them. For she came from the utmost parts of the earth to hear the wisdom of Solomon. And behold, one greater than Solomon is here. The men of Nineveh shall rise up in the judgment against this generation and shall condemn it, because they repented at the preaching of Yonan. And behold, one greater than Yonan is here. Wow. So, here it is. He's only going to give one sign of the Son of Man, and it is a sign of Yohanan. What is that? 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the fish. So Yeshua will be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth, right? So, was he in the grave 3 days and 3 nights? Can you get 3 days and 3 nights from Friday, Good Friday, to Resurrection Sunday morning? I don't think so. So he said there's one sign. Jonah was in the fish 3 days and 3 nights. Yeshua was in the ground 3 days and 3 nights. You can't get 3 days and 3 nights out of Friday, Shabbat, and Sunday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You just can't do it. There's only 2 nights there. So go get Michael Rood's The Jonah Code. That will unpack it and unlock it for you. You will understand it like nothing there. That he unpacks it. It's fantastic. Okay, let's keep going. 33, 11, Luke 11:33. No man, when he has lit a lamp, puts it in a closet, neither under a basket, but on a lampstand, that they which come in may see the light. The light of the body is the eye. Therefore, if you have one single eye, your whole body is full of light. But if your eye is blind, your body is full of darkness. Therefore, take heed that the light which is in you is not blindness. Whoa. If your whole body is full of light, and there is no darkness in you, your whole life shall be full of light, as when a bright shining lamp gives light. I like that. No man, when he has lit a lamp, puts it in a closet, neither in a basket, but on a lampstand. Although I like having lights in a closet for a reason, so I can see. They that which come in may see the light. Of course. Yeah. So if you're a light, which Yeshua said that we are his light, we are light, Yeshua said it, then we're not supposed to be hiding. We're supposed to be putting our light up on a lampstand for other people to benefit from that light, right? The light of the body is the eye. Therefore, if you have one single eye, your whole body is full of light. But if your eye is blind, your body is full of darkness. Therefore, take heed that the light which in you is not blindness. So there's a blindness that can be light. He's saying here there's a blindness that can be light. Like I've seen this as darkness. I've seen this as dark light. So translated as dark light. So there's light that's dark. Interesting. Cool. Yeah. I want to be that. I don't know about you, but I want to be light. I don't want to be darkness. I want to be light. I want to have his light in me so that when people like come into my presence, they can see clearly. so that they're not confused, that they're not stumbling over things, so that they can see the path clearly and walk it. That's like, when he says, clear the path, make straight ways. When he's saying make straight ways, make level paths. It's basically like clearing the path out of the, clearing the path. So you're taking, rocks and things out of the path to make it more smooth for people. So you're helping to clear the way. You're helping to remove the chaos and help to keep people, understanding what that path is, where it is, and how to walk it, so that you're not being a stumbling block. So you're not like helping people, you're helping them see the path. And I want to be that kind of light, because I want to shine light. I want to reflect Yeshua's light. So if I'm reflecting the right kind of light, then people are going to be able to see. And that's the most important thing we can do with our life, right? What else is there? What other thing is there more important to do with your life than figuring out how to be the best light that you can possibly be? Because it's so dark out here. There's so much darkness. I remember when we lived off-grid in the mountains, a light in the middle of the night, or when it was so dark, it's so important. I mean, like our headlamps, just to walk down the trail, so important to have a light. I mean, unless it was a full moon night, you couldn't see. And it was scary, and it was hard to operate, and to do chores, and to just survive and live without light. So I know there's lots of more commentary on there, but right now my brain ain't sparking super well, so let's just keep on reading. Let's read just a little bit more here. So remember, we are reading, I think I'll read one more. Let this go, just friends after supper. I am reading where Yeshua was between Hanukkah and Purim, because Purim is coming up, so I thought, let's read between, right? Over 14 years, he travels to. This may take a little bit. This is gonna take a little bit. Let's find. Okay, so Purim is right here at week 55. So I am reading right now week 45. So I've got 10 weeks here to read through, which it's not 10 full chapters or anything. So I think what I will do is read one more section, and then I'll have to do this again. We'll do part 1, part 2, maybe part 3. Okay, Yeshua has supper with a group of Pharisees and insults them during the meal. This is event 142. All right, this is week 45 to 53. This is Luke 11:37 to 54. And he says, as Yeshua spoke, a certain Parush, I think that's Pharisee. Purushim is Pharisees, I think. So Parush might be an individual, single one. As Yeshua spoke, a certain Parush, I think, requested that he dine with him. So he went in and reclined at dinner. Verse 38, and when the Parush saw that he had not first washed, according to rabbinic takanot, before dinner, he marveled. And Yeshua said to him, you Purushim, okay, so it wasn't Purushim, it was a Pharisee. You Purushim clean the outside of the cup and the platter, but inside you are full of gluttony and excess. You fools, did not he that make that which is outside make that which is inside as well? You say, if you give alms of everything you have is sanctified. Woe to you, Purushim, for you tithe mint and paganon, and all manners of herbs, and completely pass over righteous judgment and the love of Yahuwah. These you ought to have done, and not to leave the others undone. Woe to you, Purushim, for you love the uppermost seats in the synagogues, and greetings in the market of Rabbi, Rabbi. Woe to you, sages and Purushim, you hypocrites. You are like an unseen grave that men walk over. They are completely unaware that you have contaminated them. Then one of the sages answered, Master, are you going to insult us as well? So he said, woe to you also, you sages, for you load men with burdens grievous to be borne, and you will not lift a finger to help carry the burden. Woe to you, for you are meticulously maintain the sepulchres of the prophets whom your fathers killed. Truly you bear witness that you endorse the deeds of your fathers because they killed them, and you meticulously maintain your fathers' sepulchres. Therefore, the wisdom of Jehovah also said, I will send them prophets and apostles, and some of them they shall slay and persecute, that the blood of all the prophets which was shed from the foundation of the world may be required of this generation, from the blood of Abel to the blood of Zechariah, which perished between the altar and the temple. Truth, I say to you, vengeance shall be required of this generation. Woe to you, sages, for you have I don't even know that word. Woe to you, sages, for you have absconded with the key of knowledge. You have not entered in the door yourself, and those that were entering you have hindered. As he spoke these things to them, the sages and the Prussian began to vehemently provoke him to speak on many matters. They were laying in wait for him, seeking to catch something out of his mouth that they might use to accuse him. So Zechariah, they believe that this reference from the blood of Abel to the blood of Zechariah, which perished between the altar and the temple, that reference right there is to Yohanan ben Zechariah's father. So that Zechariah is what they are saying that was a reference to. Interesting. I mean, how many of us would go to a dinner that we were invited to and start insulting people around us, right? I mean, for me, I just want to have everyone peaceful, right? I just want to have peace. But, sometimes I would like to be able to do that. And, he was just amazing at what he did. He had the right, he had the authority, he could insult them because he knew them and he knew their hearts. And, sometimes, like, I know people's hearts sometimes. And I would love to call them out like he did. And I think the more and more I eat of him, the more and more I want to do that. But that's just amazing right there. That he can see clearly enough the moment that it is appropriate to do such a thing and see the opportunity there. So yeah, he is our rabbi, right? This is who we're learning from. And he goes into a feast, into somebody's home, and calls them out on their crap, their stuff, And they enticed him, they antagonized him with the whole, why aren't you washing your hands according to rabbinic tradition? It was super funny one time when I was president of the Hebrew Roots Club at Boise State University. We were throwing Shabbats and Erev Shabbat meals, dinners, and I had a very zealous for some rabbinic stuff kid there, who we were going to break bread, and so we were going to pass the bread around. I wanted everybody to wash their hands. I mean, with soap and water, people. And so I said, okay, everybody go wash their hands. And he jumped up and said, I'll show you how. And he actually brought with him a rabbinic hand washing ceremonial cup, whatnot. And he went into the bathroom and began to explain and showed everybody how to do this, boom, and according to rabbinic tradition. And when he came out, I was so fussed. I was mad. I was like, no. I meant go wash your hands with soap and water. I did not mean rabbinic tradition. I had to clarify and make sure that he knew that was unacceptable. Especially, if he wanted to do that sort of thing, then there is a synagogue right down the road. But we are believers of Yeshua, so that was inappropriate. Okay. So I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to catch up. I'm going to do some more where Yeshua was between Hanukkah and Purim later. We'll catch up with Luke 12, 1 to 13, 9, and when he teaches a multitude of friends after supper. So I'm interested in looking at that. This is I'm sorry, this is a little, I'm a little off on here. Like, I'm not as, I'm not quite as on right now, but it's early morning. I just thought I would engage you with me in this, and I haven't picked this up for a while, so this is really good for me to do, to look back through here and look at where he was between Hanukkah and Purim, and consider his words. So I hope that you read his words, and I hope that you get the chronological gospels to read, because it's really awesome. It uses the name, it uses Yod He Vav He, it uses Yeshua, Yeshua, it uses the Ruach HaKodesh. It doesn't have Holy Spirit and Holy Ghost or anything like that. It uses Ruach HaKodesh. And then it uses a lot of the original names, so like Yohanan ben Zechariah and obviously Yonah and stuff like that. So it has some things in there that I have to wrap my brain around and go, wait, what is this and who is this? But that also is in chronological order. So that really helps with learning where he was at different times and what he was teaching at feast time. So important, because he's our rabbi, right? And if we're going to be celebrating these feasts of Yehovah Elohim, what better way to learn about them, to learn what his son Yeshua was doing and preaching during feast time and between feast time. I think it's amazing. So let's keep going with this, and I'm going to finish this series here this year. But right now we're looking at what happened to Yeshua between Hanukkah and Purim that year. All right. So goodbye. Have a really good day. It's a beautiful day. We're going to go down to the river, I think. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Are you sleepy? Nobody? Are you sleepy? Yeah, I don't want the key on my face. Oh, I don't like that. All right. Kata, say bye-bye. Ooh, I'll put my tag thing in here.